Hey guys, creator mom again today. I think I'm gonna let it rip. I think I'm about to let it rip. Just with examples of stuff that my mother has said to me. Because, I don't know, I just feel like letting it rip, So, the thing is that I had cut her off once before for a while. I forget how long. And, she had said inappropriate things because they have no boundaries, okay? Narcissistic parents, they have no boundaries. They don't understand boundaries. You can smack them on the hand by going no contact with them. Not that you want to punish them, but really to protect yourself, whatever. And then they'll behave for a bit or try to act like they're being nice. But once you let them back in again, they will resurface and show you really again who they are. I mean, I think generally people are who they are, and that's pretty much it. But either you accept, what they do, and maybe they can live within the boundaries that you set up for them. But probably not, because they don't have boundaries. They don't know boundaries. They know no boundaries to their bullshit. So, anyways, I cut her off for inappropriate things she was saying, insinuating that I don't care about my children because I don't do certain things that she would qualify as things that one should do. So, I was like, wow, that's fucked up. And the funny thing is, she had sent me some things in the mail, like my, some diplomas I had. And, when I received that mail, I instantly felt telepathically the thought on those pieces of mail. And the thought was, look what I done for you. You got diplomas because I cared about you. Do you really care about your kids? Because of the homeschooling. I instantly knew that this was her meaning behind sending me this. So I was like, wow, that's interesting. Anyways, I observed me having this thought and, hitting me as I was touching this piece of mail. And then when then eventually through email, she said it in her words. And I was like, whoa, I was right. Anyways. What's up, Casey? Yeah. So that was that. There was some time I went without speaking, and then she tried to come in again with gifts, for my kids, They're birthdays. And I thought, well, I could entertain the notion of, having her around just for the kids' sake, But anyways, fast forward to recently, as I'm staying at this domestic violence center with my children. Very painful to say, but whatever. She invited us to go to Florida. She paid for our trip. Wonderful, right? What a kind thing to do. Well, it's actually scary because you know that the more they pay, the worse it's coming to you. The more they have sacrificed for you, it's coming. So anyways, get in the car from the airport. One of the first things she wants to talk about and comment on is how my youngest child is reading. Mind you, it is not coming from a place of genuine care, guys. It is coming from a place of, I am managing you. I am making sure that maybe you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, or something like that. I want to criticize you. I want to see if you're doing good enough. So that was one of the first things. I think what really threw me over the edge I took a lot of shit while I was there without saying anything. I was just like, okay, I can get through this. It's okay. Like, I don't have to say anything, whatever, it's fine. But there's so many things I don't even know if I can remember at all. But when she started, my kids had gotten sick. Before going to Florida, my kids were sick. Basically, they just experienced being so sick at this center we were staying at. Um, just like longer colds, things like that. Anyways, just that, not like anything dangerous, but whatever, just like colds and shit. So, my first two were sick, and I knew that my third child was going to be sick too, because I know the pattern of how like colds run through our family. So I knew it was coming, and it, kind of like, and it was going to be coming when we were in Florida. That's kind of just how the timeline went. So none of us really they didn't really have symptoms. We were all well when we got on the plane to go, when we arrived and such. And after like a week of being there, because I think I signed up to be there for like 3 weeks. I don't know what the hell I was thinking, because I know that after a week is all I can manage of her. I don't know. I wasn't really thinking, I guess. Anyways. So then, after a while of us being there, he ended up getting symptoms, which I was okay. I know how to handle my children. Like, I know what to do. I know what's normal for us. She was upset by the fact that my kids were sick. And she accused me of not doing anything about it. And basically that I was a shitty parent because my kids were sick, because they had colds. That, basically it's abnormal for them to be sick or have a couple of colds a year. And that's what really triggered me, I think. I don't know why. It was just like, damn, bro, like, is anything fucking okay that I fucking do or that goes on in my life? Or is just everything goddamn wrong? Like, she always wants to insinuate something is wrong with me and something is wrong with my kids. Like, ain't no fucking thing wrong with my kids. You know what I'm saying? Gosh. That's defensive, right? But it was, this was after already assault. So because I wasn't firm and said, no, you will not talk to me like that, I will not tolerate that, I think that it just went on and on and on. And then, like, you kind of just, I didn't curse her out or anything like that, but I kind of just stated my point of view, and she did not want to hear it. We were in the car talking about this sickness thing or whatever, and one of my kids was sick, and I knew it was going to happen. Because that's just the way it flows and goes. So anyways, she's like, was pissed off about it. And then I started, giving her my point of view on it. And she did not want to hear that at all. She shut me down immediately and told me that I need to wait till we get home to have the conversation. This is what she does. She has to shut me down no matter what. On another occasion when we had went to Florida, we were sitting down at a place eating, and she kept lamenting about school shootings. But this was manipulation. She was trying to draw me into a hot topic debate so that she could shut me down. And I knew this because I could feel it. And I told myself, I am not getting sucked in. I'm just going to be like, yeah, that's messed up and whatever. I'm not going to say nothing more about it. she kept lamenting, oh, I was crying over the school shooting. And I kind of was just like, but when she had said it a few times, but when she said at the restaurant, she had just mentioned again, like how terrible it is. These things are happening, right? Of course, it's terrible. And then I said, in a lighthearted way, I know the answer, like no more public school. You know what I'm saying? No more 8 hour a day public school. And immediately she got offended at me because everything I say is offensive. And she goes, well, not everybody is as privileged to homeschool as you are. Well, that was the end of that conversation because I knew that I wasn't going to press on because I knew that she was going to shut me down and told me to shut the fuck up because that's what she'll do. She will literally tell me to shut the fuck up. All right? So, right, I should tell her to shut the fuck up. And then she'd be, oh my God, are you going to fight in front of the kids? You know, but I was just like, whatever. I kind of let it go. Like, yeah, not everybody's as privileged as me, right? And this guy on YouTube, Avius, he talks about how narcissists can't wait for you to fail. They want you to fail. And that is a total vibe that I do kind of, that I get from her because I'm not doing things in a traditional way. Anyways, so fast forward the sickness thing. So my kid is sick. I can't even begin to express the amount of dysfunction and weirdness about my trip to Florida and my mother's life and her quote unquote boyfriend. And it's just a lot. Her boyfriend was weird too. I think he was also narcissistic. Gave me a total heebie-jeebie vibe. You know, I felt highly uncomfortable around him. Not in a sexual way, just like, ooh. He was and is predatory, but in a different way, not sexual or anything like that. I think. So he would hover me when I was there. He would hover me and my kids, hover us. And meanwhile, they're living together, but they're not together. Okay. He would hover me, and I had to say, because he would say like, I'll be doing. Oh, he'd be like, "Oh, sit down, come on, take a seat." It's just I can't explain it, guys. It's not. It's unnatural. It was weird hovering. It was ingenuine. You can feel the evil there, and it's very yucky feeling. So I had to end up telling him. Now with him, it was okay. Like I just kind of got to a point where it kind of burst out of me, not in a mean way, but I was just like, could you just like back up a little bit? Like, can you stop hovering me, please? For crying out loud. I didn't say that, but I just said, could you just, of course he was probably offended by that because these damn people don't have damn boundaries. They just don't, it's just, ugh, they're yucky. So anyways, what else do I want to say? Okay, back to my kid being sick. So she goes on to tell her boyfriend, like, oh, he's sick. I think she was talking to him in Spanish. She's like, and you didn't get your second vaccination. And oh my God, how dare I allow my kid to be sick? And my mother is so sick and immune compromised, right? Like, oh my God. It's literally insane. I can't even begin to explain how insane it is. So, okay. So then she's like, then I lay down with my kid because he has a fever. I'm giving him something for his fever and everything. And I'm comforting him because we're in a place, we're sleeping in her living room, like on air mattresses. And we're in a place we don't go all the time. Like that was like his second time. And I want to sleep with my child. He's like 6 years old, I just want to be there next to him to comfort him. And she goes, she signals for me to come sleep with her in her bed. And I'm like, dude, I do not want to sleep next to you. Like, But I end up going? I think I ended up, but she was like, oh, she was like, well, you don't want to get sick too. It's like, this is my kid. I already know how it goes. Sometimes I do get cold when they have colds, and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'll just get a little sinus thing or whatever. It was just so unnatural. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just felt like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, this is my kid. Like, we all flow together. We're like a unit. We're like a G unit. It's like, of course I want to be with my child. Like, I don't care if I get sick or not. Like, what the hell? I might get sick. You know, it's like it's, I believe it's kind of like a hormonal, like set off that happens. Like, boom, 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 boom. Anyways, so I think I did. I don't remember if it was that night that I did sleep with her or the next night, because I think that the next night, I don't know. I think I thought like, okay, my kid is okay. Like, he didn't really need me. So I'm like, okay. Like, anyways, one of those nights, like, I did end up sleeping with her. It was like really awkward. It was just like, she was like, she wanted to, I don't know, like, see if she was like, oh, do you know this song? She was like putting on these like, songs and stuff. Oh, you know this song, like these reggaeton songs or whatever, like different songs. And I'm just like, it just felt so dang weird. It was like she was trying to be like, oh, she was testing me. Everything is a goddamn test with these people. She was testing me. She was testing me to see if I was Hispanic enough. She was testing me to see if I had turned into like a complete white girl from living in Kentucky. Like, she was testing me to see like, oh, do you still like this music? Do you still like to dance? You know what I'm saying? Like, I was, like when I was like 16, 17, you know? And it just felt very awkward and very uncomfortable. And it was just like, bro, this feels so unnatural right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was trying to show me something and test me about it and say like, "Oh, you still like down with this music?" Like, it was weird. Anyways, I just felt weird about it. All right. So, I just wanted to go to sleep as well. So I ended up falling asleep. And I don't know. It's just like, maybe there's nothing wrong with wanting to sleep with your adult child, like, obviously, but I feel like when you want to pull your adult child away from their child so that they can sleep with you, I think that's weird. Because I think, even though I'm not a grandparent yet or anything like that, I think that if I were in her shoes, that I'd be like, oh yeah, dude, stay with your kids. Like, they're not feeling well, hang out with them. Also, I didn't want to leave my kids alone in the damn living room. We were all like sleeping together. Like, why would I leave them to go with you? That just seemed like abandonment, Like, I was going to abandon them because she's needy. She's super needy. What else do I want to unleash? There was something else, now I'm forgetting. Things started getting bad. I mean, she took us to Disney too. There were bad things that happened there. God, there's so many things I could say. She made my kid cry. We were scheduled to walk 3 parks back to back to back. My kids had never done that before. They don't usually walk Disneyland 3 days back to back to back. They didn't train for that. Standing in like 2-hour lines. Um, you know, I would never recommend going to Disney. I don't know. I don't really like that stuff. It was nice getting on some of the rides, but anyways. So, yeah, man, this is getting 20 minutes. It's getting long. Anyways, story time. So, after the first day of walking the whole park and standing in lines, my oldest was tired. He didn't want to like go walk another park. We were in a hotel. They all wanted to chill, they wanted to like go to the pool and like just have fun. They just saw the park as like although the rides were cool, they saw it as like a whole lot of work, which it was, you know? So, anyways, of course, my kid just kind of, my oldest kind of just got just like stuck, emotionally. And my mom was just having a fit. She's like, we got to get to the park. I already paid for this, which I totally get. I was sympathizing with that as well. Like, oh my God, yeah, like, I totally get it. But my kid wasn't feeling himself. He was just like, whatever. He wasn't trying to be rebellious. He truly was just feeling like tired, and didn't want to do it. But she had already paid for this. Mind you, we did not ask for this. We did not ask for it. Not even something we ever even wanted. It was totally something that she wanted. So she got pissed off and was like, I'm going to return. Meanwhile, we're staying at a domestic violence center. Okay. It is basically a miracle we even got there. Anyways, so she goes, I'm going to return all your Christmas gifts. This was for Christmas. I'm going to return all your Christmas gifts to make up for the money that I'm going to lose by not going to this park and stuff like that. She was just trying to like manipulate them and, you know, to motivate them to get up and get moving. She said she was going to return. And this was something he really had wanted. It was a video game. So she threatened that she was going to return everything. And my son, and then she stormed out of the hotel room angry. And my son, and I didn't do anything. I felt like such a failure that I didn't say, hey, like, you need to calm down and stop talking to us this way. Or maybe not saying you need to calm down, but you need to stop talking to us this way. Let me take care of my son and see like how I can help him to get past this situation, this block that he's experiencing. And yeah, I didn't stand up for him. I didn't stand up for myself. I allowed her to treat us like garbage. And then finally, when she stormed out, the air was more clear and I was able to feel safe enough to talk to my son and just help to change the situation through having conversation instead of using force, because using force wasn't really getting us anywhere. So I was just like, all right, like, I just had a conversation with him, and he just thought that like his legs were so sore that he wasn't gonna be able to walk. Like, he just had this thought he was stuck on. So, excuse me. Then he realized like, oh, okay, like, I am okay. I'm fine. And then we went about our day. But forget it. Like, my mother was, she's just pissed. We're not, at this point, we are just not performing good enough for her. And it is very angering to her that we are not normal. So she just has an attitude with me at the park. It was awful. Like, she'd be like, she'd do something like this, like, okay, so what do you want to do next? And I'd be like, well, and I was like, maybe we could do this. And she's like, oh, well, no, well, that's going to be a 2-hour line. And I'm just like, okay. It's like they'll ask you what you want to do and then say reasons why what you picked out to do is not good enough and then be pissed at you that you're not making a decision. So it was fucking awful, man. Would not recommend. My dog. We had to take a break for cuteness there because that was cute. Anyways, all right. So she made my son not hysterically cry. Once she left, he started crying and he was like, "It's all my fault. It's all my fault." And I was like, "No, no, no. It's not your fault. Like, it was not. What she did wasn't right. Fine, you might say when people are under financial stress, it's a trigger and they can act in ways that they shouldn't. Absolutely, I totally get that because we've all been in a place where we're triggered or make our kids cry. And then guess what? We go back and we apologize. We say, you know what? I'm sorry. Um, I got very stressed out because I'm in a mind. I was afraid. I was afraid I was going to lose money. I was afraid I wasn't going to get my money's worth. And that's like a really stressful thought for me. And I took it out on you. I got angry with you. So I'm sorry for that. Just apologize. Well, but she didn't apologize to us. My last straw, there was a lot of last straws for me. Oh my god, if I could show you the text messages are the text messages are insane as well. But basically I knew it was the last straw when she started saying things to me like your kids' wives are not going to be happy at the way that you have raised your kids. Okay, meanwhile, this woman has me, a daughter who barely wants to speak to her, and a son who's like morbidly obese with health issues ever since he was a child, and also lives, you know, does not live near her. Uh, not that, in like a, anyways, what I'm just saying is, okay, and you raised your kid and your son in a way that a woman would want. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't even imagine saying some shit like that to my like future adult kids. I was like, wow, okay, okay. Um, so what had happened before that though? Um, I don't know. At that point, I knew that we were back from Disney World and stuff like that, and oh, and then for Christmas, she did end up giving them the gifts, okay? Which was scary too, because like I said, the more they give you, the more they treat you like shit. So my kids open all the gifts, da da da. And you know what? I didn't get her anything. I am staying in a domestic violence center. Like dude, I already have issues with like Christmas and stuff like that. I have issues with forced gift buying for holidays. Not that I don't like getting people gifts, but I don't know. I just didn't feel it. Like I didn't want to get her anything. I already have had issues with her. I do not feel sentimental towards her in that way. So I gotta go soon. This is a long ass video. Kids wanted to get the dog. So anyways, yeah, I knew at that point that I had to leave. And because I just couldn't take it anymore. I could not, hold on.